right, welcome to the show. It is our biggest win. I'm Ken. That fabulous angel of a human being is Robby. Robby, we addressed this on the Patreon pre-roll. That's right. If you support me at patreon.com/Ken Napzok, you get this show. Not only special access to it, you get special content, additional minutes of the show where we talked about a lot of things this week, from real world, the importance of the show Real World, to surprise farts coming from your stomach. So, Robby, we hit it all. How are you doing today? You look wonderful.
I feel like we've done God's work in the pre-roll.
Dare I say, the Lord's work.
I'm hanging in. I'm hanging in.
You also got a new set.
I do, yes.
That's what I was saying. On the pre-roll, we addressed it, but what do you got going on?
I've got my fabulous library, and I've got my Nightwing shrine, and I've got my Transformers, and there's my hair back there on a thing, and then I got a Madonna poster up, and I have a new mic that's all pretty and glowing.
You do. Yeah, the bleep mic is moved, transitioned out.
Yes,
now you got this one here. This is amazing. The hair's looking good. You said off air that the hair looks wiggy. I wish I could wear a wig, but
the hair is a little big today.
It's big. It's almost. It's not quite designing women big, but it's big.
No, I'm definitely giving some Suzanne Sugarbaker vibes. So,
and shout out to all the Delta Burke fans in the world today. This is the show where Robby and I, with life the way life can be, not only on a national and worldwide level with the news, but also on an individual level in our own lives, it can be a struggle. So we like to dig into what we've gone through over the last month or so, and find a win. And often it's what we did this week, but. We're going to get to it. I do want to ask before we get to it, though, Robby, you got your little library back there.
Yes.
Is Madonna's sex book on the shelf at all?
It is, actually.
Yes, it is.
That came out in October of 1992. It was my 14th birthday because,
sophomore, and for me.
This is going to sound, I was a freshman, and my parents got it for me for my birthday because I was a big Madonna fan.
Really?
I don't think they realized.
Really? What a book's called Sex by Madonna is?
Well, because, it was like erotica was on the radio, and she'd already done Justify My Love, and they're like, oh, she's just being,
She's Madonna.
Right.
There
are some things in that book, though, that they opened my eyes.
I think that's so. I think that's the case for a lot of folks. I never owned it, and controversial. I mean, I don't. Again, you and I were talking in the pre-roll about sometimes time moves on, and this isn't a generational make fun of the younger generations. You just don't know because you weren't around, and you can read it as a Wikipedia entry or a website or something, or talk about it in terms of nostalgia. But if you're not there, you don't realize the full impact. We're talking about Pages of More, Real World, Puck, all that stuff, but. The Madonna sex book was as if Satan was coming to take over the world in my church.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was like, bar the doors, close the windows, hammer them shut.
It's
Madonna
interesting.
The sex book.
The last time we did this, I had talked about going to the concert, and
that
whole era is heavily referenced in her new show.
Yeah, really.
And I think because, 30 something years later, we're starting to realize that, like, wow, what a different place we're. I'm not that would have been appropriate for a 14-year-old, because I'm not. I had no judgment here, but at the same time, you see things now, and there are still some things in that book that are provocative, but we realize that, we've had, and no offense to any of these girls, but we've had, Kardashians in videos. We've had Paris Hilton in a video. We've had, and I'm not shaming any of them, because everybody do their thing, but I don't think anybody remembers just how vilified Madonna was for that book.
It was her,
and just for having the audacity to do what all the guys were doing.
Yes, 100%. It's like her and, Sinead O'Connor ripping up the picture of the Pope, and, look at that tragedy that unfolds over the course of her lifetime, but also someone who owned who she was and was right. The Madonna thing, vilified across so many different spots in pop culture. And I didn't own the book, but I did see it. My friend, I won't say his name just in case for whatever reason, but he'd be probably proud of this. He was in a relate. He was dating this girl, and he's my age, but it was we were sheltered nerdy kids, so it was pretty big that he had a girlfriend. They might actually kiss and maybe hand jobs. We don't know. But I went off to the mall with him in Santa Maria. We went to a Walden Books.
Yeah.
And he was able to get a copy, purchase the book because they wanted to look at it together. I guess to hold hands while they did it. I didn't pay attention. And so we were in the car. He had a '86 Ford Ranger truck. We were in the car. We were just kind of looking at it. That's my exposure to it. But I thought looking at it was sin. I'm sinning in the eyes of my parents here looking at this.
Oh, I openly admit there were things in it. I was like, what? How? What?
Well, because it was some.
It wasn't until I was like 25, and I was like, "Oh, that's what page 23 was. Cool, I get it now."
I have to go back and look at all these pages. Yeah, well, because there was a little bit of not disappointment, but a letdown because we were giggling and the titillation was high, and some of it's I'll say artistic, high arts, little concept stuff, maybe some subcultures we weren't too familiar with as two white straight dudes in the suburbs in the 90s. So we were a little like, I don't know. Oh, okay. I don't know what we were expecting. Just a penthouse or something. I don't know. But kudos to Madonna for the sex book. What does she say about it at the show?
Oh, she's very Madonna about it. Like she made a joke when she was in San Francisco about how that whole era, like she really found out, who her fans were and, a lot of people that came out as a result of that book. And then she said, "You're welcome."
That's good. That's good. That's Madonna. Yeah.
That's Madonna.
Yeah. This is why I'm certainly not invested in Madonna as you are. But she's of that. I'm of that era. She's of that era. So I find myself somewhat protective of her nowadays in a weird way. And I'm not here to defend anything she's done or anything, blah, 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 blah. I because of what we're talking about, where I'm like, you can make the wrong choices and lose your way and lose your luster. I get all that, but sometimes I sense Madonna is treated as a little bit of a punchline by some people, especially on like TikTok or something. And I'm like, you all don't know nothing about what she did. Perhaps even for you, she was one of the people that was like a wedge getting through a defense at a time where it could have cost her dearly.
Well, I don't know. I look at some of the people now and I'm like, okay, like I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go on a Taylor Swift rant because, my arch nemesis, Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Okay. That's right.
And
you're not a T-Swiftie. You got
I
it.
need, and not Beyonce. I love Beyonce. I need pop stars today to stand for something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like any of them do anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Gaga does. She just had
true.
She just did the Dylan Mulvaney.
But even Gaga's considered an old lady now.
Yeah, I know, and it's frustrating. That's frustrating to me too. And I, because number one, I'm like 10 years older than her, so she ain't old to me. But yes, it's like it's passe. It's not, and I get it. That's what happens. She was new on the scene. And Madonna even then was not new on the scene. Totally get that. But I understand what you're saying about standing for something, and doing it a little more easier and naturally. As much as I like Taylor Swift in a lot of ways. I don't give or take most of her music. I like some of her songs, but even some of the stuff she's come out and done or said, it took a while to get there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know people are like, well, but what about the whole thing about her taking ownership of her career and re-recording her music? And that's great, but like her dad made a shitty deal.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't affect, I mean.
Yeah. I get you. I get no T-Swift
for
me, but yeah. I get you.
I know we're going to get demonetized because she owns everything.
We're okay.
Sorry for drinking on air, guys. I'm dry like a Kardashian.
Chloe, Kim, Courtney. With the two, you see, that's how you know. It's funny. My age group, I don't even kind of isn't the newer generation, and they're like mothers, and they've Kylie. Is it Kylie and Kendall?
Jenner,
They,
yes.
yeah, Jenner, right? Yeah, they're
Yeah.
but they're of the team. Um,
Yeah.
I still view them as like the annoying like 10-year-olds in season one of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I'm like,
I
what
have
happened?
never
What
I
happened to
have
them?
never seen an episode.
I'm not. I can never lie. I watched the first two seasons religiously.
I've never watched that. I have never watched a Real Housewife of Anywhere.
That I really haven't seen.
I've betrayed my people because all the little young gaylets, as I call them, are like, "What do you mean you never watched a Real Housewife?" I'm like, "Because I don't care about them."
Yeah, yeah. You know, we go. You know, I was there for the Osbournes. I was there for the early. Even Hogan
Yeah.
Knows Best and all that stuff. And big fan of Survivor. All that stuff. You know, I contributed a little bit to the downfall of society with my love of quote unquote
Well, we
reality
talked about
shows.
the real world, and my
Yeah,
thing is okay between that and Madonna's Truth or Dare reality. Been there, done that.
been there, done
Everything
that.
else is just a rehash.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. But part of the show is catching up, talking about
Excuse me.
Madonna, and hoping Robbie doesn't hack up a lung on air. But
Right?
cough away. You don't worry
Of course,
about
I go all
Don't.
day without talking, and I'm perfectly fine. And now that I'm talking to you, I'm like, let's just die. Let's just fart and choke to death on camera.
Again, Patreon pre-roll. You all need to catch that. It was great. I was dying laughing. We like to come in. I've been extra short of breath lately. I gotta learn to get my breath like a singer. Just been. I don't know. Sometimes I go through this where I don't feel like I'm getting the air that I need. I gotta learn how to do that. Like if you ever watch Madonna watch Gaga sing "A Million Reasons" at Super Bowl when she did Super Bowl halftime, she's taking those big breaths. I need to get that down for podcasting.
Yeah.
Anyways, the point of the show is we also share our biggest wins. This could be over the last month. This could be over the last week. And, we've go through a lot of things. You've got some health stuff that came up. I'm curious about your biggest win, so I'm going to let you go first.
Well, I don't want to get too deep on everybody, considering I've been making fun of everything for the last 26 minutes.
Too deep. Yeah.
I Well, first of all, I'd like us to do a spin-off
Mm-hmm.
of this hugely successful show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to call it, well, that didn't suck as much as it could have, which
Okay.
I think would be a wonderful companion
Yeah.
piece to this.
Yeah.
And instead of the pink bricks, it'll be blue, like the bad genie. Um, no, I've decided that where I've been since the last we spoke
Mm-hmm.
was that deciding, because I had mentioned to you privately that, February wasn't a great month. I'm
Yeah.
still sort of dealing with all my health stuff and whatnot. And
You feel as though
um,
you went and saw the Madonna concert and maybe paid a price physically.
oh, I definitely went into that zone of like, because I get a little bit paranoid and superstitious about, that kind of, because just my history. Do I really believe in any of that? I don't know. But sometimes it helps you get it out of your system.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But since I got back from that trip, it's just been kind of one thing after another. And nothing that's like, you know, completely wiped me out.
Mm-hmm.
But just enough for me to finally realize that it is okay. And stop me if I've said this before, because I really feel like I'm talking to all of you out there. Sometimes it's okay to say, you know what, I'm not okay.
Yeah, 100%.
That's my win. That's my win. I
Okay.
finally, I'm kind of sick of camouflaging everything with a joke or with a,
Mm.
like
Mm-hmm.
I don't like. Here's the deal: if you don't see me posting in the Discord or on Facebook or on Twitter, if you don't see me, that means I'm probably laying in bed going, "Yeah, I kind of hate everything right now."
Mm.
Because what I
Mm.
don't want to do, and this is a conscious effort, is I don't ever want to spread what I call the disease of terror to other people, because I think that's too many people do that. Too many people just assault everybody with all of their BS.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
100%.
I'm not saying don't talk to your friends, don't talk about
Mm-mm.
things,
Mm-mm.
don't talk to your loved ones. I'm going to cough again.
That's great.
Oh, remind me to
I'm
mention
yawning
super.
again. I don't know what's going on with me, so
If
I
I
can't get
were
a
a
deep breath.
professional, I would actually read the instructions on how to mute the mic, so I'm not like choking on it.
Yeah, I was going to say we could, or let me know. I'll mute your mic next time. I can mute your mic from here. I don't
Oh my
mind it, but
god.
because you're being honest.
I'm coughing
Yeah,
up a demon.
yeah.
But what I was saying was is that I found myself kind of in a mode where I was just bitching about everything. Now, granted, we all have reasons that
Yeah,
are
we get
perfectly
there.
valid why we can complain and carry on a piss and moan about,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
like today, it's really cold outside and it's snowing. I'm angry
Uh,
about that.
it's
I'm angry about that.
a really beautiful
I
day over
I
here.
make jokes about having issues with my ostomy, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I hate it. Sometimes I hate that like I'm
Yeah,
so preoccupied with
you can't.
making a weird sound or it feeling weird or waking up in the middle of the night
Mm-hmm.
because when they do that, sometimes they can cross wire the nerves.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, like, you know, my left tit will start stinging. It has
Oh,
nothing to do with that. But all of a sudden it's like, ow,
yeah.
and that
Yeah.
wakes you up. And I think we all, I mean, yes, I'm talking about health stuff. I'm just talking about the everyday, like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's been winter, it's been kind of dark and gray.
Mm-hmm.
Life
Mm-hmm.
isn't, sometimes you just don't want to be
You,
perky. And I've
yeah.
learned to be okay with that. And I was having a conversation. I've been talking
Mm-hmm.
a lot about, spirituality lately.
Okay.
But I had little Robbie pop up on my shoulder so
Mm.
for a bit.
Oh,
And
for the audio listeners, it's pretty much, is that not a Funko Pop of you, but
no,
a,
it's one of those chibi, like, we'll get into that in a second. But I found one and I was like, if I paint his little outfit,
that's a Robby.
that heifer's me. So all the way down to the, and if you look really closely, there's a hole in his stomach. Anyhow, um,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
the whole point is that giving in to, sometimes you just got to give in to the feeling miserable. Don't swim in it. Don't
Yeah.
stay in it. Don't, and also don't take other people down with you.
There's a emotional honesty to it. There is I totally know what you say where it's like we all can feel like we're the center of the story. It's our
Yeah,
movie, and so if things are going wrong, I do that all the time. Sometimes I have to remind myself, ask that person across from you how they're doing. Like start with that maybe even. And
right.
I don't hold it against anyone, but it rubs me the wrong way. I don't like it on social media where I've got some folks, even folks that I used to work with and stuff, that are just like, it's just one of those things of you're just going on whatever your social media of choice is just to just bitch about things, the trivial things. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. Deal with it. And I don't mean to be mean about that, but at the same time, I also want people to be honest, and that it does. That's the effect. Is
It's a delicate balance, and I think
yeah.
that I've always said you have to take the good with the bad.
Take the
And
good, you take the bad. The facts of life. Facts of life.
season one theme song was the best. Um, but you deep cut.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, that's you know, it,
I I
it's
I love it. I love where you're at with that. And I always sometimes I've talked about when you're like if you're battling depression, or
yeah,
there's just like some days you just gotta be depressed.
yeah,
And hopefully the impulse control is in check. Hopefully you have the support systems around you. If you don't, God bless you. We're not all privileged like that. I get it, but yeah, you just gotta keep one foot on the ground. But it's okay, man, to spend 4 hours in the bath,
yeah.
or for me, I could do it too much. But it's like, all right, I'm swinging through Del Taco, like I'm doing something that gives me some sense of joy,
And it's
and acknowledging.
it's perfectly okay to tell people,
Mm-hmm.
listen, I'm not on top of my game today. And it's
Yeah,
also okay to say, and I don't want to talk about it. But like,
yeah, yeah,
please don't worry about me. Like, if I need to talk, I know you're there for me.
yeah. That's the key too of knowing. Hey, you don't worry. I got this.
Right.
I got
I mean, don't,
this.
I'm
I,
saying don't throw people overboat with you, but also don't
yeah.
like. don't acknowledge that people care about you. They're, again, delicate balance.
Delicate balance, multiple truths. But yeah, no, because there's so much of what you're going through. And for those who are just maybe checking in, the list of medical maladies is long with you. I get it, and I think there's got to be some fake it till you make it energy going on with you, and that's exhausting. It's exhausting.
Oh,
And so
yes.
sometimes it's just nice for you to be like, guess what? I'm exhausted.
Right. And I say the reason why I guess I'm telling people to like be conscious of that
Mm-hmm.
and being conscious of just maybe sort of maybe you need to stew in your own juices is
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I found myself snapping at well-intended people.
Mm.
And that's so not who I am or who I want to be.
Yeah, yeah.
But we talked about this months ago when people, do they, well, thank God you're still alive.
Mm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
had another occasion of that. And I completely came, I was like, really? Really? I'm not okay with that. Like
That's the
everything
bar.
fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And they were just like, whoa. And I was like, you know,
And you're
I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm feeling very volcanic right now because
yeah.
I'm sick of everyone saying thank God for something because I'm not thanking anybody right now.
Yeah.
But then I
And like
realized I was like, oh, I definitely need to like meditate on this
yeah.
because,
And then the pizza
we've all
delivery
done
guy
that.
walked away slowly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sir, this is an Arby's. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I know I feel it. Yeah, yeah. And that's why, it's sometimes the other side of it is you don't know what to say. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's all you can do is, I try not to offer platitudes. I just try to say, hey, whatever you need. But I like where you're at with that, though. I like where you're at. The Robbie Smith I'm Exhausted playbook. Exhausted physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, any way you want to look at it.
Exactly. Now, how
Yeah.
about you? So that's my big
So,
spiel.
yeah, you know what? I came out of what I would describe as a bit of a mental breakdown over the last couple of months, and been sharing that and been on the live stream, and you saw it the last time we recorded. Like I kind of lost it after we recorded. I just not feeling good about things. Things are better, and a lot of it was from the support of listeners and longtime listeners and friends and family, and got a lot of support that humbled me, which was part of what I was talking about on the live stream that I kind of lost it on. But things are better. But it's still by the skin of my teeth. I'm trying to get through some stuff, and I haven't been depressed. But you ever get into if you look, I just got a shave and a haircut. Like I'm trimmed down, the beard's trimmed down, and I can do it by myself. And I think I have maybe 2 months ago I did, but I had not gotten my hair cut, whatever's left of it. I had not gotten my hair cut. I had not gotten my beard taken care of. It was getting old and gray and bushy. And today, and some of that was money. Like, sometimes the $20 to cut your hair it ain't happening because that needs to go to food or something. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can go get a haircut. But I put that off for about 2 weeks. And I don't know if you feel it's not. I don't think it's in the ballpark of what you're talking about. But it wasn't stewing in the juices or acknowledging depression. It was actually not acknowledging any kind of depression or malaise, where I was like, yeah, I don't want to be an active member of society. I don't want to clean up. And, big bushy beard doesn't mean you're out of society. But you know what I mean? We're like, nah, I kind of
Yeah.
I feel like this unruly beard. I feel like this hair that I don't care about. I just don't care about myself right now. And that's not what you're talking about of let me admit something. It's just like it's a self-destructive, self-loathing thing. So today, woke up early and went and got the haircut. Went and Grace and I are going to go to dinner. That's part of my win too. We set some time aside. We're both in just thick of it the last couple months. Let's go get some. We're going to go to our favorite restaurant and get some dinner. Let's kind of be humans. And I think I've been not knowing that I needed that because it's so easy that the bushy beard takes over there. I'm sweatpants today. There's some days I don't wear jeans, like for weeks, and I'm blessed to work at home for most of the time. But you can lose yourself in that,
Yeah.
and it's unlike what you're saying is
See
an
that,
admission. I'm not dealing with it.
but I think that I counter, not to interrupt you, but I
Counter.
counter what you're saying and also offer that um, while it might not be an admission, it might be a denial of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way, it led you where it needed to, which was for you to wake up one day and go,
Yeah.
okay, I'm done with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a little bit of the
Yeah.
same energy. It's a connective energy to what you're talking about, I think. I think they're different.
Yeah.
Different
It's coming from
sides
two
of the
different
coin.
ways. Yeah.
Two different ways.
Two different ways, but
different sides of the pillow. But of that's even what I've said over the years of just acknowledging depression. Like today is a depressive day means, and then you're not going to do anything about it. Like that's what I'm talking about on your side of like, no, this is where I'm at, and I'm not going to go for a walk to feel better. I'm not going to eat right to get help. I'm not going to work out to get my endorphins going. No, I'm going to be fucking depressed today. And then eventually, hopefully, again, impulse control, those things, the dangers of it. But you're like, cool, I'm done with that. And I think, yeah, I agree with you on that point. It was
I call it the house shoe dilemma.
House shoe dilemma.
Which is, okay, if I have to go out to a doctor's appointment or if I have to go out and do anything, am I actually putting on my real shoes or am I just wearing my house shoes because I don't give a shit? Now, comment below if you know what the hell I'm talking about, because I think I don't care if it's house shoes, it's pajama pants, it's, girl, I'm not wearing underwear today. Whatever, but you know what I'm talking about. You just mentioned like, you're actually going to wear real clothes to dinner tonight.
Yes. Yeah. You know what's so funny? I was going to the haircut today. This is how this is amazing you said that. I had this thought today. I was going to get the haircut today, and I'm at my little side street pulling onto a major street in Burbank, and there's a donut shop I go to every now and then. It's kind of a famous donut shop, 24 hours in Burbank. And so it's about 7:30 in the morning or whatever. And there was a older couple, and I want to make clear I'm not shaming anyone's size, but they were both bigger in an unnatural way for their bodies, I would say, because they had some canes going, but they weren't like, this wasn't 70 plus. They might have been 58. And the guy had a big, speaking of bushy beards, but he just had a big Santa Claus white beard, kind of long, greasy hair, but he probably hadn't washed it. And she was in sweatpants and she had goddamn slippers on and in socks. And I just was in awe of them in a weird way. Yeah. I'm not here to make fun of them. They were like getting donuts. They're not going for a healthy shake or a low protein, blah, blah, blah. They're like, fucking donuts today, honey. Let's do it.
For the grace of God, go I.
Grace of God, go I. And I was staring at her slippers, Robbie, swear to God, saying, that's the choice. Do you leave the house with slippers or not? Yeah. And so we all have to make that choice.
Yeah.
She owned it.
And sometimes you do. Sometimes you're like, you know what? Mm-hmm. The world doesn't deserve me to do my hair.
Yeah.
Or for me to, even bother, wearing a shirt that hasn't been laundered in 6 months. I just don't care.
It's just okay. And that's why, my tendency maybe even as a comic is to, especially back in the day as a comic, would be to make fun of them, right? And again, I'm saying things that I was commenting in my brain on their weight, their cane, they didn't look able-bodied. They're just in the sense of just like, what were they doing? How did they get to this point in life? I was getting the comic in me can get a little bitter. I've tried to put that aside to find what is the positive in this situation. Right. Who are they? I don't know their story. Maybe this is their first time out in a while because she said some medical problems. Maybe this is all they can afford. He can't take her to fancy breakfast. And I was trying to find, and I found their biggest win.
Yeah,
only who they were.
That voice of, you know what? I hear you, sister.
Yeah.
It does make you.
Yeah.
There's nothing like relatability to make you empathetic towards people. I don't know if that makes sense, but
no.
I see the world in a whole different way than I used to.
I bet.
And you know what? And we should.
Yes, that's the thing. That's the thing. And it's hard. I've tried to talk about it on stage as a comic. Is it? We're so often trained that comedy comes from, not even punching down or up, but just like a negative space about what am I angry about? We all get angry, and I get angry about things too, without a doubt. But can't we find the humor in celebrating things? Is the challenge I'm sometimes wondering. And if there's anger, I want it to be at me, and I want it to be at me bucking against the positive things in life. Like
Right.
this is a good thing I should enjoy, but I'm not adapting to it, or I'm being stubborn, I'm being grumpy, and that's the comedy. 10 years ago, I would have made fun of these people. Now I want to try to celebrate them,
Yeah.
and that's the wins. It's their win. It's our win. Good wins. We had some good wins today, Robbie, including a good conversation about Madonna's sex book.
That's right. I have an addendum. It's not really
To
an
that?
addendum.
Okay.
No, it's more of a public apology.
Mm.
So a couple of days ago, or probably a week ago, I was making fun of in a post that I put up of a situation because we all know that Kate Middleton went missing, quote unquote.
All
So
right.
I had posted a picture of it was a total Photoshop picture of her and me and the Hamburglar at McDonald's, and it was more of a commentary of the
Yeah.
I don't understand why people are freaking out because nothing online is real.
Yeah.
And I don't feel guilty because I wasn't necessarily making fun of her.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel
You're making fun of
guilty
the
that
situation.
yeah, I do feel guilty that, and I don't feel guilty for thinking that maybe the institution
Mm-hmm.
involved needs to, I don't know, get their S together,
Oh yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah. No,
But
that's a good conversation.
I do, where we've come to that we're so toxic and so, things have to be salacious and we're so
Mm-hmm.
hungry for drama that someone
Mm-hmm.
who's younger than I am,
Mm-hmm. She's
that has
42.
3 children,
Mm-hmm.
has to come out and talk about a health condition, cancer,
Yeah.
that maybe she wasn't ready to talk about.
Yeah.
Now, did the people she worked with help the situation? Not
Yes.
for me to decide. I'm going to say no, they didn't, but
Oh,
that's
I
not
guess
for
I
me to
did.
decide.
I guess I did.
But but I think there's something about it gave me
What
it made me pause earlier because it made me
it
sad.
it is. Yeah. No. So I'm releasing this episode on Saturday, but we recorded this on Friday when Alden and I were doing anytime that news kind of broke in the middle of it. They put it in our chat, and we just saw the name. Someone put in the chat Kate Middleton. So Alden and I probably started talking about it. But then we
Yeah,
were like, "Hey, we better check the story," as we did, and we saw what it was.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, no. There's what I was trying to say when I said yes was like I think that the not just the royal family but the entire team mishandled it,
yeah.
and I'm not saying they should have announced. Oh, we think she has cancer. I'm just like it got weird. Let's just be honest. It got weird. Like
It
we're
got really
analyzing photos.
sloppy for people that
Sloppy,
should know better.
sloppy. Like this is the royal family. They're usually better at burying their
But then,
skeletons.
as somebody who had,
Hmm.
4 different abdominal surgeries and
Yeah.
lost a shit ton of weight and
Hmm.
almost died 3 times,
Hmm.
I I can understand why she disappeared for so long. Hell,
Yeah.
I disappeared for half a year because I looked like hell.
I wasn't even sure where you were for 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and don't beat yourself up, but that's what I'm kind of talking about. I've had some conversations about even when I got my haircut. The lady in
Yeah.
front of me, the guy I go get my haircut from, I'm like his youngest client. Everyone else is a blue hair, 75-year-old woman or above. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I had to wait for a while, and I heard them talking, and they were talking about, and they weren't being mean. By the way, they weren't being mean. But there's just a sense of ownership, and I get it. And I'm not here to defend the monarchy, and but that's a different conversation. But we have this ownership. I had this come up when I was defending. Sorry to bring up again Taylor Swift when her team, I should say, not she, her team threatened legal action against that kid on Twitter who was tracking her jet in real time. And I was like,
Yeah.
look, your point about the environment and private jets and billionaires is taken. And I admitted to not caring when Elon Musk was being tracked or Bill Gates, but Taylor opened up an idea like it's dangerous. You don't know who's out there. She is being
Yeah.
targeted by the right, and we have seen people on the right just in their dumb comments on CNN or whatever ignite a firestorm of violence in the heart of their followers.
Yeah.
Someone could track her to I don't care what security team she has, they could get her. And
Exactly.
I had some people who were like, I don't care. She's a billionaire. She could die for all I care. And we have this weird sense of detachment and from their humanity and some have a possession over them and their humanity. And I think this is a little bit of the Kate situation. So my barber this morning, he was coming and he was like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "I literally, this is today, 8 a.m. The day we found out." I said, I think it's probably something personal and bad, and I don't have a theory, man." And he was like,
Right.
I think it was a tummy tuck." And I was like, "Okay, but."
Yeah.
And now look, I want to go get my hair trimmed tomorrow and be like, "Now what do you think?"
Right.
Do you have any, because why couldn't you all figure that out,
Right.
But I'm with you. The situation it's fodder for late night television. I'm sure Leno, if he was still on the air, he'd be doing joke after joke. I don't know what anyone else did.
Exactly.
But you could just, I just, sorry, you actually got me started on something, because like you could see this coming from a mile away. You could see it coming from a mile away. It was secret for a reason.
Yeah.
Secret for a reason.
Yeah.
And maybe he's cheating on her, and maybe who knows?
Right.
This makes more sense.
All of these things could be true. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
This
but
is
guess
why.
what?
Yeah.
I'm not sleeping with him, so I don't care.
I don't care.
Like that's
I
for
am
her
not.
to figure out.
Yeah, I am not. This is why I'm up for listening to your conspiracy theories. It's a fascinating subculture, but at the end of the day, I feel conspiracy theory thinking is dangerous, because now we have legislation being proposed in Tennessee that's based on chemtrails, because they think chemtrail stuff is real.
Right.
And sorry, it ain't. There's a lot of research on why it isn't true. But we reached out. We got the lieutenant governor in North Carolina running for governor, and he's a Holocaust denier who believes lizard people, which is a very anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, exists. And so that's why I just, even to my barber, it was like the conspiracy theories often hide and detach us from the truth, and the truth is something bad's probably going on. I don't want to say I'm right, because it's tragic to say I was right.
It's the same shit, different day. Because when we were growing up, it was the National Enquirer, and today it's TMZ. I mean, it's the same.
Yeah,
paparazzi is just a different, thing now.
Paparazzi. I love it. Thanks. Sorry for that rant.
Well, me too. I didn't mean to bring it up at the end and bring everybody down after all.
I wish her well. I wish her well. I don't have to love the monarchy. I don't have to care. I don't care. I wish she was just Kate from Essex, wherever the hell she's from, and didn't have to deal with people following her. But I wish her well. She's a mother of three. She's a mother of three who did not have any choice to be born into the family. So, Robby, we've done it. We got back on the horse. That's another win for us. You and I. And I know you're used to getting up on horses, but here we are. We're back. We did it.
His name was Jeffrey.
You just didn't know his last name, and that's fair.
Okay, you don't need to say it like that, Ken.
Thanks for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like, give us a comment. We love doing this show. Next month is my birthday month, so we'll do a special one there.
Oh, yes.
Be a lot of fun. It will be cool. That's it. We'll get out of here. I don't have anything else. We don't need anything else. That's what we do. Bye, everybody. Goodbye.